Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another full self-driving video. Today we're testing the new version. We are on version 11.3.6. I've heard really good things about this one. Unprotected left turns, right hand turns on a red light, stop signs, everything should be updated. So let's get to it. Okay, so one of the things that I actually still don't like and they haven't fixed is that in these community areas where you're supposed to go 30 miles an hour, I feel like the cars accelerates too fast at times. Like if there's kids in the area, that might be a little bit unsafe. So here goes a stop sign. There's a car going by, so we are clear to go. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. The car did not hesitate. It actually went when it was supposed to. That was good. So now it did a really good job because we are at 30 miles an hour, and the setting that I have it is that it can go 5 miles an hour above the speed limit. We're going 35 miles an hour. It feels slow, but I think it's a pretty good speed because of the area. You know, there is a school right next to us. There are some houses to the left. So pretty good speed so far. Let's see how fast it changes speed once we cross and we go on the main intersection. So we have the red light, blinkers already on, pretty good distance between the cars. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is a forward unprotected left, meaning the red light is not going to show, the green light is not going to show us an arrow to the left, so we have to wait for our turn when it's clear on the other side. So let's see how the car does this one. Now, I want you guys to keep an eye on the speed limit because I've had it many times where, oh, we do have a green arrow, so we are going to be good to go. It shouldn't be a hard one. Let's see. Steering wheel looks good. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Okay, so we already changed to 40 miles per hour. So that's good. Now the car in front of us is going a little bit slower, so the car should be merging to the right. Let's see how soon it does that. Here are the settings that I'm on. I am on assertive, and I don't have minimal lane changes turned on. So I want the car to be as fluid as possible, as close to a human driver. Car in front of us braking. Okay, now I feel like we hit the brakes a little bit too long for that one because the car was already on the left lane. So that might be something to look out for. Of course, that is just trajectory of the other cars. So, you know, the car has to almost plan ahead for the other cars, you know, where they're going and their trajectory. See, like that one, the car hit the brakes for that one and the car was already making a U-turn. So that wasn't too good because if I had a car behind me, the car was probably like, why are you braking if the car is so, you know, it's ahead of you and it's making a U-turn. So those are the little things. So here we go. Merging on the right lane. Pretty good. Blinker is on. This car is hitting the brakes. Okay, I'm okay with that. Brakes look good. Red light in front of us. So far, pretty good. You know, I'll give it a 8 out of 10. Not too bad. The stop light was good. The stop sign was good. Okay, now I do want to see. We do have a right turn at the next intersection. So let's see. Hopefully, it's a right hand turn on the red light, so that we could see how it does that one. Unfortunately, it looks like it's a green light, so we're just gonna have a regular right hand turn. Merging pretty good. Blinkers on. Car in front of us went. That's okay. It's our turn right now. Steering wheel looks good. That was good. 10 out of 10 on that one. Pretty good. Speed looks good. Now we're back to 45 miles an hour because it's a intersection. No houses around. All right, there's a car to our left, but it's pretty far, so we can go. Nice, nice. I like the acceleration. That's something that I was really pushing for, is using the EV acceleration, you know, for the car's advantage, because many times in other updates, the car would hesitate a lot when trying to accelerate and get from one spot to another. So I'm glad that they're actually implementing that. Okay, we're stopping at a red light. Something that I really liked about this update is the phantom braking is almost no longer there. I've noticed it sometimes, especially when we have like those flashing yellow lights, or we have a pedestrian maybe on a bike and the car doesn't know where the bike is going to go. But other than that, most of the time the phantom braking is gone. So I'm really happy about that because that was one of the main issues that I was concerned with. Because, if you don't know that the car is going to brake, you can't plan for it. So if it hits the brakes and, unexpectedly, if you have a car behind you, you almost have to like, hit the pedal as the brakes are, as the car hits the brakes. So it's a little bit contradictory, but I'm glad they got rid of that. Hopefully, Elon Musk has tweeted out saying that 11.4, which is the next update, is rolling out to employees today. And according to him, that's really good improvements. The highway videos are coming because I'm very impressed with the behavior of the car on the highways. I think it's so smooth the way they did it. Like, props to the FSD team. They did a great job on the highway. Okay, so taking a little bit of time to accelerate. We do have a little bit of a gap between the cars. So, maybe the car didn't want to accelerate that time. I'm okay with that. I feel like the hardest thing to get used to when you're driving in autopilot or full self driving is the fact that the car doesn't drive the same way you do. So in situations where you would do something, the car thinks differently, and that's where you almost have to get used to somebody else driving for you. So, that took me a long time because, let's say in my mind, I see this gap on the right and I'm like, okay, let me take this so I can go ahead. The car doesn't think that way. So that was almost like the hardest thing for me. But once you get used to that, you kind of feel what the car is going to do. I know it sounds crazy, but you almost learn the behavior of the car and you expect it and you plan for it. And that happens with the mistakes as well. Like, I know sometimes when the car's turning right and there is a bus, a bus little intersection for the bus to stop, the car struggles with that at times. Sometimes it wants to go there. So I already know and I plan ahead and I hold the wheel so that's I can plan for that. But yeah, I've driven for with autopilot for almost 2 years now. So it's been a while. I want to say I know the behavior of the car. Of course, sometimes it does things that unexpectedly I'm either shocked or scared. I'm not gonna lie, but it happens. See, like here, it's one of those examples where the car has a pretty good gap between the car in front of them, but it's not accelerating, and I'm okay with that because as humans, we like to be, we like to go as close as possible without being dangerous. But the car is extra careful, which I'm not going to complain about. It's a machine; it can make mistakes, so the more room that it has to make those mistakes, the better. Another thing that I'm really happy is not a thing anymore and it got fixed, or another issue that was a really big problem, was with those big trees, the car would get confused and think that there was like a stop light or a green light and it couldn't see it. So then if the tree was too big and it was covering like the road, the car would slow down thinking that it wasn't seeing something. So I'm really glad that it hasn't done that in a long time. There was this one spot where the car would do it all the time. So I'm glad, I see those little changes and you really look forward to that. Like, this is huge right here. I would have done this a long time ago, and this goes back to the other topic that I was talking about, because this car is going a little bit slower for my liking. So you see right there, the car broke because there's a pedestrian right here crossing the street. Now it's not the car's fault. The pedestrian's crossing where there's not supposed to. So the car hit the brakes really hard that time. If I had a car behind me, there might have been an accident. So that's why when you're driving in autopilot, you have to be really careful, because the pedestrian crossed really far, but the car is being extra safe around pedestrians. So maybe that's something that they can work towards, is making sure that the car can plan the pedestrian's path ahead of time. Um, that'd be something good. But then again, if that was a kid running out on the street, then it's good that the car is able to stop and plan ahead of time before the kid can get hit. So that's one of the examples. I'm glad that it happened as I'm recording. Now, once again, another example of where the car doesn't drive as you do is this lane is going a lot slower than the other lanes. Now, even though I do have the car on assertive, it maybe doesn't want to turn. It doesn't want to merge. So it will stay in the slower lane. Now, for me, I would have gone to the left lane already, or the right lane. But, the car chooses not to. And as a driver, you have to be okay with that. So I already got used to not, just following what the car wants to do. It's almost like its own mind. So I don't really care that it's not going into the faster lane. Um, but maybe that is something, once again, that the FSD team can work towards, because if you're in a rush, like in the morning rush, I usually don't like to use autopilot because I know it's not going to get me there as fast as I want to be there. So if I'm late for something, I'm going to drive myself. So now that doesn't mean that I'm going to drive recklessly, but I'm going to be there, I'm going to find those gaps and I'm going to go a little bit faster than full slow driving will. So maybe some room for improvement there as well. But I'm glad that they have safety first in their plan, because a lot of people, myself included, are scared when you have a computer driving for you, because we know computers can have it wrong many times. So um, so that's why safety is priority, and I am not going to complain about that. Now this is going to be a good one, because you're going to see that we have three green lights back to back to back. The car at times likes to slow down for one of them, like it did right there a little bit, but then it corrected and it kept going. Actually, we have four green lights back to back to back to back. So let's see. This one is back to back. So let's see if the car tries to slow down a little bit. I felt it a little bit, but it kept going. So that wasn't bad. But I've had other times where the car tries to slow down a little bit more. I'm not sure why. Some people tell me that it's because it's planning that the green light in front of the other one is going to turn yellow. I'm not sure about that. I think it's just a matter of the car not understanding why there's three green lights back to back to back. Um, I don't know you know what the car can do about that. It did good there. There's no reason to slow down if all lights are green. So it might have to do with the issue of the flashing emergency lights. Um, the car struggles with that still. I think that has to do a little bit with the cameras, because the cameras can't really tell, from afar, um, red from yellow, like really good. So that might be why the car is just being safe, in that regards. Or it just thinks it's a yellow light and it's going to brake ahead of time. So, it's a matter of, just them fixing those little details. And, now with the highway driving and the highway autopilot, you can, okay, so this is interesting right here. Let me stop. The car has to merge right. There is a car on the right. Let's see. Okay, so it's coming back to this lane. Okay, the car is giving me some space. You're good. There we go. Okay. Little jerk to the left, but it made it. Now, thankfully, the car in front behind us actually gave us some space to go and let us merge. If it was another car and it didn't do that, then the car would have to find a gap. I've had moments where the car has to turn right. Let's say at this intersection. Okay, for some reason we stopped right here. So let me step on the pedal. That was interesting. Um, no, I don't understand why. That'd be interesting to see. All right, we're turning right because we are going to get to our destination on the right. So yeah, that was interesting. That was phantom braking actually, that I hadn't had in a while. For some reason, you saw that it was a green light. The car saw that it was a green light. Okay, we're turning right here. This is a bus only. Okay. Now this is where we're supposed to go. So it turned a little bit earlier, but that's fine. Now let's see, because it's supposed to change speeds. We're still at 45 miles per hour, and this is a community. So we have, okay, why are we braking here? The stop sign is right over there. That's interesting. Um, so here's the stop sign. Here's a car to the left. Now we have the right to go because we got here earlier. Um, so you have to go like now. I'm gonna go ahead and step on the pedal because the car left to me is probably wondering what am I doing. Now you see that we're still going 45 miles an hour. Let me go and put that down because that's just dangerous. This is not a 45 miles per hour speed limit here. This is a community. Okay, that stop sign was better. A little jerky because the car was there, but that was better. And then here's a mapping issue. You see in front of us, we don't have a roundabout, but the car has a roundabout mapped. Um, so that's interesting. Okay, we're stopping here for the trash cans. So we're just being careful at this point, which I'm okay with in a community. So you guys saw a little bit of everything here today. Um, that was quite the drive. One phantom braking. I believe I stepped on the pedal 3 times in total. So that's interesting. So we have arrived. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.